Hi. So, sorry that this video took so long to make, but I think you'll find that the wait was very worthwhile because I have some really good news. I've acquired tea. Still very excited by this fact. But yeah, I've been going to the Mazzoni Center in Philadelphia. I've been for 2 visits now, and on the second one, I got this. So I decided I would make a video exclusively about my experience with acquiring tea, and if you have any questions about your own struggle to get said medication, or whatever you want to call it, feel free to leave a comment and I'll be sure to respond. So, yeah, as I was saying, I went to the Mazzoni Center in Philadelphia, which I would highly recommend. The first thing that kind of cued me into their awesomeness was when I called them to make the appointment and I was scheduling myself as a new patient. They asked me for my legal name and I gave them that, and then they asked me, "What's your real name?" and I told them George. And I just thought the addition of the adjective real just changed that interaction so much. And so I learned sort of from that, and also from interacting with the people there, how accepting and knowledgeable that center in particular is. Also, it's just cool to go to an exclusively, LGBTQ type of center, because just in the waiting room, I just saw so many queer people, and I was like, this is great. So, it was a great experience. I would highly recommend it. My process was pretty easy. The reason that it took me so long to get tea, outside of going to the actual Mazzoni Center was, 1, financial reasons, and 2, I wanted to make sure that the people in my life were comfortable with me starting testosterone. So I wanted to give my parents and my siblings, friends, they're accepting and awesome, but especially my parents and my siblings, enough time to come to terms with my identity so that even if I could, kind of subvert them and acquire tea on my own without getting their permission, I didn't want to do that, even though I could have, because I wanted them to be comfortable with the changes that they were going to see. So that's why it took me 2.5 years to get there, as well as mentally, because going on hormones is such a change. I will never ever be the same or look the same because of this thing right here. And for me to get that through my head took a while. As much as I wanted those changes and wanted to pass as male and wanted the comfort of, not having to come out to every person whose hand I shook, as much as I wanted that, I really wanted to make sure I was there mentally and that I was okay with the fact that I was never going back. Which, never say never. Could happen, but seems unlikely at this point. So yeah, that was my process of getting to the actual Mazzoni Center. Then when I made the call this winter, warning, you may want to call fairly enough in advance, to book a visit at one of these centers, because I believe I called in February and I didn't get an appointment, or January, and I didn't get an appointment until late March. So, just a heads up there. The first appointment, they basically get to know you as a patient, your identity, anything that might prevent you from going on testosterone. And then the second appointment, the first one you get blood work done, which was worth it, but was very scary. But it was worth it. So that happens. Then the second appointment is, you meet with kind of a social worker of sorts, which I believe them when they say, it's not a test, it's not, to figure out if you're trans enough for testosterone. The way that they presented it to me was, it was really just, they wanted to reach out to you. I think they do want to make sure that you're comfortable with your identity and that you've been out to a lot of people for a significant amount of time. They don't want you to just, do this on a whim, or, they want it to be a well-considered decision. But that was actually very nice, just the fact that they have someone there, that a social worker, kind of counselor type person that you can talk to about the changes you're going through. And then this is also part of the second appointment. This is the second part of the second appointment. You actually get tea. They go through the list of all the possible things that could happen to you, good and bad. The worst being male pattern baldness, which I was just like, no, did you have to read that? Oh my god. So, for me, that was the worst one, but all the rest are insignificant. And then the good things they talk about as well, so like, the fact that, I don't know, I'm sure you know all the good things that become of this. But so after they run that by you, you get the medication like at the pharmacy next door, and then they actually teach you how to inject testosterone. So the kind that I got is subcutaneous, whatever the hell that means, injection. Actually, I know what the hell that means. It means you inject right about there. So you actually like pinch yourself like that and put the needle in like there. Yeah, it works. It's a way of getting this. I'm not that happy about the idea of shots and giving yourself shots. But, sorry, I should have said not that happy about the idea of needles, because shots for me means this. Anyway, I'm not that happy about needles, but I think that in terms of trying to decide which way to get testosterone, they laid it out to me that that center specifically, had 3 options. So you could do a gel, a subcutaneous shot, which is into the stomach area, or a intramuscular shot, which is like in your butt. So, of those 3 options, the subcutaneous one works faster than the gel, and is less painful than the intramuscular one. So it seemed to me like the best one. It's also the most popular one at that center specifically, so I don't know what that means. Maybe it means it's the right choice, I don't know. So this is the needle that you actually use to, like, get the testosterone fluid out of this vial. And then, hang on, this, you won't be able to see it on this crappy camera, but this is the needle. I'll try to estimate, like, the length of it. It's about that long. This needle is what you use to actually put in your stomach. And for me, my experience with it is that for some reason I expected it not to hurt. I don't know where this, like, maybe too many people assured me that it wouldn't hurt that much, and I made that into, oh, it's not gonna hurt at all. It does hurt. It does hurt. If you've ever gotten a flu shot, I would say it's like the same level of pain as that. And then it's a little bit weirder because you yourself are delivering the shot. But as long as you're prepared for, like, flu shot level of pain, it's totally fine. The thing that weirded me out at first was that I wasn't prepared for any pain at all, which, again, I don't know why I was thinking that. But, so I, like, put the needle, like, into my skin a couple times and was like, oh, why does that hurt? That's weird. So, once I was talked out of that, it was cool because the nurse actually, like, saw I was struggling, and she was the one teaching me how to do it. She saw that I was struggling, and she just looked at me and said, like, how badly do you want this? And I just went, and, like, stabbed. Well, actually, don't stab. You go in at a 45-degree angle. But still, I did that with force, and I was able to do it after she reminded me how badly I wanted this. So, all in all, it's worth it. Yes, you do have to stab yourself, but it's not as scary, and if you think about, honestly, if you think about how badly you want what that thing is going to give you, it's not hard at all. So I'm pretty happy with my process. I would definitely recommend the subcutaneous method. although I haven't tried any others, so I don't know how valid that recommendation is, but I think it's worked fine for me. Again, this is only my first shot, so what the hell am I even talking about? But it's worked so far. Yeah, so I recommend that. I would also recommend the Mazzoni Center. As far as actual changes go, I'm not feeling any different, but I didn't expect to. I will let you guys know. Actually, I have felt more energetic, but I think that's just the natural high of life and the fact that I've finally accomplished this. But yeah, no changes so far. I'll let you guys know once there are. And that was my experience acquiring testosterone. Please leave comments if you have them. Thanks.